We did make 62 miles an hour. I don't know if you can see that very good. Hey folks, welcome back. Today's going to probably be a pretty short video. I just topped off the gas and we are on our way to Death Valley. Now we're going to see if we can get to Death Valley before we run out of gas, and I'm pretty sure we can't, but we're going to run the tank dry and see how far we get, which also happens to be one of my greatest sources of anxiety, is running out of gas or electricity, which is why I don't have an electric vehicle. So our destination is 198 miles away, and we have a 1.4 gallon gas tank. So we're going to see just how far we can go on a tank of gas. Right now we got full bars. There's 6 bars on the gas gauge, and we're at full right now. So let's see. And this is why you do test runs, people. My GPS doesn't think it has power, even though it's wired to the battery. Well, the first bar's gone and we've gone 30 miles. 31 miles. Usually don't see that until I've gone 50 miles. Well, lost my second bar. And we're at 44 miles. Gas stations abound, as you can see. Our first turn in 57 miles. Almost missed it. Half a tank, 58 miles. We did make 62 miles an hour. I don't know if you can see that very good. 62. Going downhill. 2 bars, 71 miles. This is by far the worst gas mileage I've ever had on this bike. But I've also never left it wide open on the highway for hours at a time. Or had all this extra stuff. We gotta have, like, including me, 270 pounds of things on the bike right now. And that's a lot. 1 bar, 85 miles. Now the wait begins for when it's gonna start blinking at me. And then when we run out of gas. Oh, now we're blinking. 93 miles. We're in Trona, California. Don't really know what it's known for other than nothing. Now the waiting game begins. How long do I stay on blinking before I run out of gas? Well, I think that's it, folks. We're out of gas. Can't lift my foot. Is that 114 miles? That's not too bad. How did that stop take 10 minutes? Oh, we filled up on the gas that I had on board, and I neglected to say anything else about it. So we made 114 miles on a tank. I don't know what the math comes out to be, but that we got a little bit further to go today before we turn around and do the same thing in reverse. Change in plan slightly. I was going to go all the way up to Beatty, but I think we're just going to stop at Stovepipe Wells, and then go home, which is in Death Valley. Well, there's the Death Valley sign, and I don't have a permit to film in the park, so I think that's a good time to end the video. See you next time.
Hi. Yeah, so that was supposed to be the end of the video. It isn't. We're going to talk about what happened after that a little bit, and what happened after that a little bit. So, unfortunately, when I was in Stovepipe Wells, I lost a lot of time. They have 4 pumps. 2 of the pumps were out of order, so I had to wait behind somebody, and then there was a guy on a GS who had passed me a few times, and he wanted to talk, and I haven't quite figured out how to tell people I don't have time to talk. I was kind of on a timetable, and I lost a bunch of time in Stovepipe Wells. But when I was heading back to Trona, I was getting atrocious gas mileage. When I got back in Trona, which is 70 some miles from Stovepipe Wells, I only got 61 miles a gallon, which is really bad. Now, I don't know if it was because I was just climbing out of the valley, or because I didn't account for the headwind. The wind is so bad out there. Or if it was just because, I got some less than ideal gas in the middle of the desert. Who knows? Anyway, I only got 61 miles a gallon. And then I got gas in Trona and rode home. And see, this trip, it was about gas, but it was also doing a dry run for my 1,000-mile attempt. And I had started riding 2 hours before this video started, because I had to go up from the town I live in to Big Bear and then down into Adelanto, which is where the first gas station was. So that was 2 hours before the start of this video. And then I had to make it all the way home again after the end of this video. So I had to go into Death Valley and then back out. So I didn't end up rolling into Adelanto again until, I don't know, it was something like 9 o'clock. And I was tired. I was a little bit cranky. Been up riding for 13 hours at that point. 12, 13 hours. And so I'm standing at this gas station in Adelanto, and I had a decision to make. I was either going to have to ride 2 hours back up to Big Bear and back down to my house, or take a shortcut, because the road that I need to go back to my town is washed out because of weather. That shortcut is a Jeep trail that's only about 3 miles, but it's steep and it's rutted and it's muddy. And I opted for that route. That's the route that I took. And so I don't have any video of this because my cameras had died by then, but it was a mistake. So I should have known better when I had to cross. It had to be at least 8 inches of water. And it's 9 o'clock at night. It's pitch black. Cross 8 inches of water through this creek to get to the trail. And then it was incredibly steep, incredibly muddy, rutted out. I had been on this trail before in my truck, I don't know, 2-3 years ago. That was before we had all the snow and all the rain, and it had since gotten a lot worse. I got stuck a few times, hit a few rocks. The engine started to overheat. I was starting to overheat. I was just frustrated. I shut the bike off a couple times to try to let it cool down a little bit, but it was making weird sounds, and the engine was not happy. The clutch was almost gone completely. But I almost made it. So I see lights. I see lights at the houses at the end of the trail, and I'm almost there. And I just got a little too enthusiastic, and I started dropping the bike. The rear tire kept letting go, and I'm falling down. 2-3 times I fall. And the third time, Well, I didn't fall. The bike fell. You know, it's hard to fall off a bike like that because you just stand up and the bike goes over. But the third time, I had the ram mount, as you saw in the video. There's a ram mount attached to the front brake lever, and it has two balls, and one of the balls is in between the two screws. And the last time that I fell, the ram mount broke in half, and so I had really no front brake. My front brake is just hanging out there. And also, between the first and third fall, I had bent my rear brake lever up over the Kickstarter, so I had no rear brake. So I had to make it home. I finally made it up to the end of the trail and then rode the last mile and a half, 2 miles home, as slow as I could because I had absolutely no rear brake and mostly no front brake. So that was a bit of a disaster and set me back. I got home. The bike barely made it up my driveway. I have a steep driveway and the clutch was just not having it. Check engine light was on the whole way home after all the falls and going up that Jeep trail. So parked it in my garage and there it sits. I did start it the next day and the check engine light was off, but I don't know if I did any internal damage. Hopefully I didn't. I know I can adjust the clutch. So I don't know if I did any internal damage, but we'll find out. I did put a different ram mount on so that I have a front brake lever again. The brake lights don't work, and I'm not sure if it's because I messed something up electronically or that the rear brake is wrapped up over the Kickstarter enough to keep the pressure just enough on the brake to keep the brake light on. But I haven't had a chance to figure that out yet. So the attempt for 1,000 miles was supposed to happen in about a week from when this video is coming out. And we're not ready for that yet. I'm going to replace the 14 tooth with a 13 tooth front sprocket. I'm going to put an X-ring chain on because I have one and potentially less chain maintenance on the road. And I got a lot of other things to figure out. I got to figure out how I'm going to put all that stuff on the handlebars that weighed it down. I had too much weight with me. I've got to figure out how to reduce weight, increase gas, and also do another dry run to see if my gas mileage changes at all. Because right now, if I get 61 miles a gallon, it's going to take me forever to go 1,000 miles, and we're never going to hit that 24 hours. So we're going to try it again. Not before it warms up. There was still ice on the road when I was doing this one, at least up here, and I don't even think it hit 60 degrees, and I was just freezing the whole time. It was just a miserable experience. I did end up riding 458 miles that day. So it is possible, potentially. It really comes down to how much you can deal with being miserable and not losing too much time on fuel stops and not taking Jeep trails in the middle of the night in the dark by yourself. I should be able to avoid doing that again, but you never know. So back to the drawing board. We're going to do it again, maybe in a month or two. I got to be in Seattle later this month, so that kind of eliminates my ability to do it now, but we're going to do it. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching the video. I know it's a different video, but if you stayed along to the end, thank you. I'll see you next time.